How you guys doing? I'm Ryan Hollins, and we want to welcome you into the Opinionated 7-Footers Podcast. And I'm here with my dog, my man, my running mate, my fellow 7-footer, Brendan Haywood, 7'1" out of North Carolina, 275 pounds, holding it down.
Yes, sir.
Haywood, what up, dog?
I'm doing good, feeling good. I got my dog in the house, Big Perk in the house, man.
I'm trying to tell y'all, they don't understand. Listen, when it's the big man in the room together, because they already think we dumb, right? But when educated big dudes, big centers in here, I'm with my boy B. Wood and my boy Hollins, and we in there and we educated and we in the lab. I've been waiting to get on the pod. I just been waiting on the invite.
Hey, Ryan, this is what you don't know. I came in with Perk and I left with Perk. Because think about it. Perk, when you first remember back down to IMG, when Perk first got into the league, he was working out. We were all working out together down at IMG, IMG Academy. And then on my way out, my last game in Cleveland, Perk was there too. So I was in with Perk and I was out with Perk.
Yeah, that's what we was. What was that? Clifford Ray and Robert Parrish.
Clifford Ray, Robert Parrish's big man camp. Yeah. Big Al Jefferson was down there.
Ooh, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That actually was good work.
Yeah, good work. Incredible.
Facts, Perk. And that's because you came out of high school, too. We going to get to that later, man. But Perk, I want to take you back to your earliest memories, kind of how Kendrick Perkins became Kendrick Perkins. I remember with myself and my dad, he set up a basketball court in the backyard. We didn't have much space. And right behind the court was the bushes. So at an early age, I had to make up my mind how bad that I wanted, because if you were diving after a loose ball, you going straight into the bushes. So, we had,
what kind of hood ghetto court was that? You had the bushes right behind the court?
Right behind the court, man.
That's got to be a safety hazard.
Hey, dog, and if you want to win some of these games, you had diving in bushes. You know what I'm saying? Some of the games start getting heated, but when I look back, that's part of my DNA. That's what made me, Perk. I'm going to dive on the floor. I'm going to do whatever it takes. That's why I grew up playing, Perk. And I want to throw it to you, Perk. Was there somewhere or somebody that was instrumental in your life at a very early age as far as hooping to help? Like, hey, man, cut that crying out, man. Get with it, dog, with some OGs that used to beat up on you.
And here it is, man. So, I lost my old lady, man. My mama, God rest her soul, at an early age. So a homicide, man. Shot and killed by her best friend at the age of 6. So I was up for adoption. My daddy, who's Lamar University Hall of Famer, he had bounced, wasn't in my life, went to New Zealand, never came back, played professional basketball over there for 15 years. So I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather, he was the best man in my wedding, and I was raised on a farm. So I was taught at an early age that, responsibilities, whether it was, goddamn it, man, I could kill a chicken, clean it, cut it, and have it ready for you to cook in 45 minutes. And that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I had real chores. Like on Saturday mornings, I used to walk down the street with a string pulling my lawnmower, going to cut yards for $5 a yard, and I had like 10 of them just to make me some money.
$5 a yard, man. I think you was underselling yourself, Perk. $5 a yard. That seems a little low. That's what I'm saying. It seems a little low.
No, but B Wood for 11, 12-year-old man, that was a nice little bag.
Okay. Fact.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, my first love really was football. I played tight end and defensive end all through grade school and my first couple years in high school. But the person who pushed me for us basketball was my high school coach, who was also Steven Jackson high school coach and the Hall of Fame coach, Andre Butte. And he took me under his wing because he had a history back in the day of he dated my mama. And the crazy thing about it was that he still had a picture of my mama. My mama died in 89. I first got introduced to him about 98, right around 98, 97. And he was married and still had a picture of my mama in his wallet, and his wife had to be okay because that was his first love. Like, he had planned on marrying my mama, and I didn't even know it. So he embraced me more like a son, and, man, he took me under his wing, man, and he made me go in as a 7th grader and play one-on-ones against 9th and 10th graders, and I would start crying because they was elbowing me, and I would look to him for help, and it was like, nah, dog, you got to get through it. And he would make me show up to the gym, during the 7th grade to hoop with his high school team at 7 in the morning and tell me, because that's the way he did it in the summertime. Ooh. 7 in the morning hooping, and then you go from 7 to about 9:30, get some rest. Hey, they go and hoop at this other high school at 1. You better be there. Matter of fact, I'm sending one of my players to pick you up. And then, look, go there, go get something to eat, and guess what? Hey, where you at? I'm sending such and such to come pick you up. They hooping at the Salvation Army at 8 o'clock. So, he pushed me, man. He was a father figure and still is today. And my motivation for hooping, my motivation to get into the league was my grandparents, dog. They took me under their wing. I grew up in a house where the ceilings was 6'1". So imagine, I had to walk through the house like this. We couldn't even put a ceiling fan up in there. My grandfather built the crib. So I grew up in a house where my grandmother was a maid. She couldn't get a job because she dropped out of school in the 6th grade because she was picking cotton. So she was a maid making $40 a week. My grandfather cleaned up the church making $300 a month. You see what I'm saying? So that was my motivation. My motivation was, after you get to that certain height, y'all know as 7-footers, I never touched 7 foot. I'm 6'9", but I feel like I'm 7.
Yeah, you played 7 feet, man.
But real talk, man. It was that once I got there, and then you know how it is. Once you start getting those college scholars, those offers, and you start getting ranked, and it was like, hold on, man, I got a real chance. I got a real chance to make it and put my grandparents in a better situation. And man, that motivated me every single day. And the first thing I done when I got to the league and got my check, my first NBA check, guess what I did? I didn't spend it on myself. I bought them a house.
Gotta take care of the people that got you there. That's a touching story. And listen, and the work that you put in definitely paid off. Because I went to your Wikipedia page, looked you up a little bit. Hey, Perk, I didn't know you was giving them buckets like that in high school. Perk, you were giving them 28, 16, and 8 blocks a game. 28, 16, and 8. So all that hard work definitely paid off. But I got to ask you a question, man. With you being from Beaumont, Texas, dominating Beaumont, Texas, how does the best player in Beaumont, Texas end up in Oakland playing for an AAU team in Oakland with LeBron James, who's from Akron? Come on, Perk. What was going down, man? How did y'all end up on the same team in Oakland, bro?
You know what? We the ones that made them put that rule in, that 100-mile radius rule. We were the ones because of that. But look, we never went to practice. All we did was just show up to the games. But look, we only played 1 year together with the Oakland Soldiers. That was my senior year. It was LeBron, Leon Poe, and myself. But it just came together like that. So really, we only played like 3 tournaments together. So, at the end of the day, I was with the hoops, but some kind of way, we just joined forces. I don't know how.
Hey, Perk. Did you know right away, though, playing with LeBron, they're like, yo, this kid's got next. He's special. Was it one of those things that soon as you hoop with him, you're like, yo, I ain't never seen nothing like this?
Ever. I mean, like, I never had a doubt in my mind. I'm going to tell you, the first tournament we played in was down here in Houston, Texas. So I had been seeing Bron. We had been every year, the Houston Hoops and the Ohio Shooting Stars who we played for, we were meeting the championship every year since about the 8th grade because I had Andy Eby. I had
he was killing.
Yeah, me and Andy was on one. You know what I'm saying? So when Bron, we used to go against him. So I remember when I went to the ABCD camp, my 10th grade year, this was my first time going into the Adidas circuit. Bron had grew up to like 6'8". And the whole time the talk was about Bron and Sebastian Telfair. Quick story. I went to ABCD camp and I dominated with the white and them. I left out of there the #1 ranked player. I was ranked #1 above LeBron for about 3 straight months. And then that went out the window, right? But man, let me tell you, when we joined forces going into our senior year and he came down to Houston, and I looked at him and said, he's 6'9", 230. And the line wrapped around the corner, right? Jim Field. And in the layup line, I was like, hold on, what are they feeding this dude? I mean, he put on a dunk show. You know, this was the young Bron.
Yeah.
When he was throwing it off the glass and going catch it like this and looking down in the rim.
Wee.
The kneels between the legs. And I'm like, man, hold on. So first of all, I was noticing that he wasn't afraid of the moment, because when the lights came on, oh man, the first game we had, he dropped like 40. And he got me and Leon Poe on the team. And he went to work. I mean, went to work. But this is the thing that I knew that separated him, and that where his mind frame was different from the rest. So, you know, in AAU games, you may play at 1 o'clock, then play again at 3:30, then you know how it go. Man, everybody going run and get McDonald's and things like that. Man, this man Bron had fruit cups, man.
He just eating the fruit cups, man. He already on the healthy diet plan.
Man, this man was eating fruit cups.
Come on, bro.
With lemon and lime in it, man. That's how advanced and how smart he was. This is no lie. No lies, dog. On my kids. I'm watching. I'm sitting up here eating McDonald's. He eating fruit cups and drinking water.
That's why he's 17 years in, still jumping through the rim, man. Take care. Hey, the guy take care of himself.
Hey, Perk, I gotta throw this to you. This is a little off the charts, man. You know, you saw a young LeBron. You saw LeBron in AAU. You remember a high school Bron. And we're watching Bronny come into his own. His son, Bronny, ain't no slouch. Now, obviously, I believe Bronny might be a little smaller. How do you compare those two? I see the movements, but you remember a young Bron. What do you see when you watch Bronny because you play with him?
It's two different players. And yes, Bron got the genes. He's going to be athletic. Hell, he's athletic right now. We see him dunking as a freshman and doing that. But their games are night and day. You know what I'm saying? To me, in my opinion. I'm looking at Bronny. Bronny jump shot is wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bronny got more of a mid-range shot, a tray ball. His package is different. LeBron James was a physical specimen. He was something we never seen before. He was fast. He was athletic. He didn't really have a jumper, but his finishing around the basket when not dunking was on another level. He could post up. Bron, that's what people don't understand. In high school, they were giving it to Bron on the block. He could post up and make drop-step moves and stuff like that. But the thing that separated him the most was his IQ and his passing ability. People think this shit just started. Bron been dropping dimes.
Oh, yeah.
Bron been dropping between the legs, trailer, no looks here since, about the 10th grade. So I think they're two different players. Yes, they have the same athleticism, you know what I mean? Because I don't remember a young LeBron being athletic like Bronny. He was athletic, but Bronny kind of more athletic at that age. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Hey, that's scary. That's scary right there, man. That's scary, man. LeBron was a next level athlete. If Bronny's gonna be that athletic and he's almost a point guard, that's gonna be something different. But we're gonna take it back to you in your early days getting into the league. Obviously, you came straight out of high school. I saw you were going to Memphis. Were you ever really going to Memphis, or were you, or were you going straight to the league off the road?
Listen, no, seriously. So what happened was that at the time we didn't have social media. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have all this. We only had one computer. I didn't even think Apple had a computer. It wasn't no MacBooks or nothing out. It was, the Dell computers?
Yeah, we owe. Yeah, we owe. Yeah, right. We ain't no MacBooks out there.
Windows 95.
I used to always go on the computer, check the rankings, right, where I'm ranked at. Then I would go check the mock draft site. You know what I'm saying? See where they had me getting drafted at as I started to get older. And the thing was, you know how it was, letters was coming in. I was being recruited heavily by Matt Doherty in North Carolina at the time.
You should have went.
And Rick Barnes that was at Texas, Cal that was at Memphis, and God darn it, it was Miami. I was recruited. Those 4 schools showed the most interest. Like, now you come here, the keys, we giving you the keys, right? So with Cal, this was separated Cal from the rest. Cal was like, Big Perk, my job is to get you here, and they got you going late first round, second round, probably not even getting drafted. You come with me for a year, I'm going to make sure you're a lottery pick. So right there, I was like, hold on. Cal got my best interest in heart. Like, yeah, I'm coming to his school, but for him to say that means he was like, I don't even want you for 2 years. I want you one and done. And I will make you a lottery pick. Now here it is. I signed with Memphis. Before my senior year started. And I was like, you know what? I'm going. Matter of fact, it was a package deal. One of my teammates actually signed also.
Who's your teammate?
Keenan Young. He ended up going to BYU. He had a pretty good career there, won Conference Player of the Year his senior year.
Hey, you know what that is, man. Hey, once Big Perk wasn't going there, they wouldn't take him no more now. Cal was like, hey, Perk, I had a package for you, but if you ain't there, the package is done.
They reneged. And, man, you know what? Me and my boy, we call him KT, he didn't talk to me, man, until like 3 years ago. He was mad at me about it. But so what it was this. I was like, at that time, you could test the waters without hiring the agent, right?
Right.
And I was like, man, you know, during my senior year, I'm seeing Sam Presti, B.J. Armstrong, you know, Maverick Scouts coming to my game, Washington Wizards, when I'm coming out the dressing room and they sitting at a table. So I'm like, hold on, this is real, right? So finished my season. And, you know, I'm still close with him, but I was real cool with Sonny Vaccaro, right? And Sonny was like, hey, Perk, I think you need to test the waters. So I was like, okay. I had 4 draft workouts, all Texas teams in Boston, right? So check this out. Boston had the 27th pick. Dallas had the 28th. Spurs had the 29th. And I think, the Rockets probably had the 30. I got guarantees from all those teams. But I'm going to tell you something. I went to Boston, and I ended up killing, what's the guy, man? God darn it, dog. I keep forgetting it. Oh, Brian Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Cookie.
And he was player of the year.
Yeah, from Illinois. Brian Cook from Illinois.
So we went head-to-head in the individual workout, and I killed him. I was just dunking everything, screaming loud, yelling. But man, I tell you, I had a little pro training because I was staying in Houston, working out with John Lucas. So I knew what to expect. So when I went to Boston, I worked out, killed it. They interviewed me. They was like, hold on, he pretty intelligent, got a high IQ. They asked me to stay another night. So I'm like, all right. Stayed another night, went to dinner, and, man, they guaranteed me that first round spot. They actually had the 20th spot, and, man, when they guaranteed me that 20th spot, man, I had to tell Cal, man, I'm out.
Who was in that meeting with you? Who'd you go to that dinner with?
It was Danny Ainge. It was a guy, man, I keep forgetting his name. It was the GM for Memphis, man.
Chris Wallace?
Chris Wallace.
Yeah.
Yep. Me, Danny Ainge, and Chris Wallace.
Hey, Perk, when they told you that, knowing your story, I just got to know, like, did you play it cool? Like, oh, yeah, no problem. Was you like, what? Like, cause I know you emotional, big fella. We all, it just come out. How did you play when you first heard them words? Like,
you want to know what's messed up about it? Let me tell y'all. I'm glad you asked that. So my high school coaches went with me to the workouts. right? As we doing the second dinner, they never mention it while I'm at the table. So my phone ring, it's my wife, who I've been married. It's my girl at the time, but my wife, we've been together since the 10th grade. So I'm like,
that's that true love right there.
You a real one, Perk. I knew you was a real one, but golly, Perk.
That's that true. Hey, Perk. Perk. I had to stumble around in the streets till my late 30s, man.
But now my old lady been dealing with me for 10 years now. I love her. For 20 years now. I love her to death. But so they like, yeah, you can take that call. We see your phone ringing. So I'm like, all right. Now, might I tell you, Boston, they hadn't said anything yet. So I'm like, dang, okay. So then I'm flying out that night, right? And we get on the plane. No one says nothing to me. I'm like, dang, okay. They're like, man, we get back to Houston. We drive back to Beaumont. My coaches still ain't saying that, they just vibing and talking as usual. And I'm just sitting back. I'm like, so, was they impressed with the workout? They was like, they gonna get back with us, right? The whole time. So I'm like, dang. So 2 days later, they like, man, listen, we got a guarantee from the Spurs, the Rockets. Now, might I tell you, I didn't know none of this. I didn't know about the guarantee from none of the teams, right? My coaches knew this. But they was like, we're going to go ahead and come on out. If you don't get drafted, then you got to go to the summer league and this, that, and the other. I'm like, dang, you sure? We can go to Memphis. Nah, you going to come out. If you don't get drafted, we got faith in you. Like, damn, man. So draft night come. I still don't know nothing, right? Man, the whole time, to make a long story short, man, my coaches knew that Boston was taking me. They set up a conference room at a bank, and all my family was there.
Oh, man.
And look, they was kind of sending me signs because both of them walked in with Celtic jerseys on. But the whole time, I'm nervous because when they got to the 20th pick, I think Boston drafted Dante Jones. I'm like, oh, man. And I'm like, what's going on? But when they got to the 27th pick, Memphis took me, but it was a swap deal. But, man, it was crazy, man. They had me sweating the whole time because you know why? They didn't want me to stop working. They didn't want me to get complacent. But they knew it the whole damn time, man, and didn't tell me, dog. I was
listen, man, they had your best interest at heart, man, and it was a great move. You end up going to Boston. You guys weren't that good early on. And I'm big on team chemistry and culture. I feel like that's just as important as the talent. And I don't even know if you remember this because we talked early in the show about when you first came into the league, we used to work out together. So we had a pretty good rapport. We didn't hang out, but I'd see you on the court. Yo, what up, Perk? How you doing? It was all
the time.
Hey, it was all love. And that was the first couple of years. And then Kevin Garnett got there. And we're in D.C. I don't even know if you remember this. And, man, there was like a loose ball, and you hit me so hard in my chest. And I was like, yo, Perk, what's up? He's like, that's how it's going to be. And I said, yo, when they start feeding you gunpowder, big fella? Hey, listen, dog. Hey, you said something else. I'm heated. I'm like, yo, I'm heated. I'm like, dog, I don't know what's wrong with Perk. And after the game, you're like, yo, what's up? I'm like, dog, what was that about? He's like, man, Ticket got us all on edge, man. He got us out here acting totally different. Perk, I promise you, when I talked to Deshaun Stevenson later that day, I said, yo, dog, they going to win it. I said, KG's already changed the whole culture of that locker room, man. It was different. I was like, Perk was cool with me after the game, but during the game, he was doing stuff he wasn't doing before, man. Talk about that culture that KG changed.
Man, listen, when I tell you the best teammate I ever been around, the most unselfish guy, B. Wood, he set the culture from the jump. Listen, KG, no disrespect to Paul or Ray, but we all know KG was the best player on that Celtic team. It wasn't even a debate. He took a back seat to them when he first got there. Paul, Ray, we go through you. Paul, you go be our closer. Ray, me and Perk go set screens. I'm going to anchor this defense. If y'all need me, I'm going to be down here. He set the tone. We knew not to come in the locker room. Listen, let me tell you. Ray Allen used to have a pregame routine where he used to dribble the ball in the locker room, and between his legs to get his rhythm. KG was like, say, B, what you got going on? This in training camp, we in Rome. He like, what you got going on? So Ray was like, what you mean, Kev? He like, nah, bro, we ain't on all that in here. Like, time for you to get focused. Like, he talking to Ray. I'm like, oh, like, dang, it's going up. So from the jump, like in the locker room before games, it was like, how I went about it, if KG was in the training room, I'm in the locker room. If he came to the locker room, I went somewhere completely, totally different from him because he didn't want no noise. If he thought your music was playing too loud, you was a distracted or you wasn't focused. Man, our shoot-arounds was so focused, it was ridiculous to the point where we were about to get in fights with the coaching staff, Tom Thibodeau and Doc. Because we interacting and going over game playing so tough that it was crazy. Man, KG came there and he laid down the foundation. And it was like B. Wood Hollis, like when you walked into the arena with KG, it was like, man, what?
Stick your chest out. Say it with your chest.
Hey, look, let me tell you, he had a rule though. If you didn't bleed green, we ain't messing with you. So I couldn't be with, although me and you was straight, I couldn't show that friendly side because this the big brother and the big homie. But I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you this, and I'm going to give you out the floor back. You got to blame your boy Agent Zero because he started that.
Started what?
He started we, low-key, we didn't like y'all as a Wizard team.
He started what? What did he start?
Oh, Gil, what did Gil do, man?
What did Gil do now, man?
Oh, man, what did Gil do?
Let me tell you what Gil had done. So before our first regular season game in 07-08 was against who? The Wizards, right? Before the season started, Gilbert went in the papers and was talking so much noise. Why y'all crowning them out?
That sound like Gil. That sound like him.
They ain't done nothing. They ain't did this. They ain't did that. Dog, do you understand how much rage we had behind that? Like, and let me tell you how messy Doc Rivers was. So everybody walking into the TD Garden, bro, he has the article on the front door of our locker room. Ooh. So as we walking in, we were reminded of this. And guess what Doc's pregame speech was about? Gilbert article. That's why we came out on edge, and that's why every time we faced the Wizards and faced y'all, it was like this tension and beef because all that what Gilbert said, dog. No lie.
Gilbert's mouth stayed getting us in trouble, man.
Only Gil.
Gil's mouth stayed getting us in trouble, man.
And that's why we wanted to make a statement. I think we beat y'all by like 30 or something in the Garden that first game.
I don't remember. I don't remember, Perk. I don't remember. I forgot.
But B, that was the reason, dog. He started that, bro. He started it. And like since then, every time we went against the Wizards, it was like, what's happening? Then you got to remember, Caron Butler and P, boy, they used to go edit to the point where it was like, some real beef there. So it was like, what's happening?
Yeah, this is true.
Hey, Perk, I got to throw this to you too, man, because, stay on Big Ticket a little bit. He don't fool with everybody. And he's this 100 as straight, and he'll let you know it, or you'll walk up, hey, what's up, Kevin? like I seen Kevin one time, somebody said, hey, Kevin, he didn't make a noise. And KG fooled with me because we built a relationship on the basketball court. Not that it was buddy-buddy, but I remember he would come to UCLA in the summertime. I'm getting physical with KG. I got a little steal on the break. Mark Jackson, this is when Mark Jackson first retired. He used to come to UCLA, play, threw it up to me. I hit a little windmill, but I would go at KG. And then the summer of the lockout, you had already left the team already. I think you were at OKC. Mm-hmm. I came up there to play summer ball, and me and KG had wars. And I mean, like, wars. It's like, hey, how you doing? But, literally blood. Like, we going elbowing each other, hitting each other. And it got to the point where him and Paul put me to the side and was like, yo, we going to trade for you. Like, what? He's like, nah, you playing with us. And I'm in Cleveland, and it ended up happening. Did you have a moment with KG? Where did you, and if you did you have a moment in practice where y'all kind of went head to head where he was like, yeah, Perk, you the one? Like, how did you gain that respect?
So how I gained it was that at first, the first practice, the first preseason game, we was in Rome, all right? And we going against Beyoncé. You remember Toronto?
Yeah.
And, man, we went at Beyoncé and Chris Bosh, and I finished with like 12, 8, and 5. And because before then, me and KG didn't fool with each other before he got to the Celtics. Like, we used to almost go blows when he was in Minnesota. And he was like asking P, like, man, how Perk is when I'm going to get there. P like, man, you going to love Perk. Like, man, P, I don't know, man. So, like, I ain't going to even front to y'all. Man, me and KG ain't talked the 7.5 plane ride to Rome. We didn't talk none of the, like, you know how you get there after Labor Day, we didn't really communicate.
Oof.
But, man, after that first preseason game, he was like, nah, I'm rocking with him. And then it was like, man, it went to another level, dog, and we got close. We was cool. We knew what was at hand, and we was able to be cordial with each other. Now, when we became big brother and little brother, it wasn't even after we won the championship. Guess when it happened? So KG gets hurt, and I'm having the best season of my career, right? I almost made the All-Star game, but they picked Al Horford. Right around the All-Star break, now I'm averaging 14 and 11. Me and Rondo kind of taking over the team. KG hurt, and we hit a little stint where we lost like 3 games in a row. So we have a meeting on the plane, and we address it. And KG like, so people like, man, let's air it out. We keep saying people playing for hidden agendas. Let's air it out. And KG was like, shit, I'm going to keep it all the way a buck. Perk, I think you out there playing to make the All-Star game. So I'm like, huh? I'm 23, 24. No, I'm actually 25 I'm 23 at the time. So I'm like, huh? What you mean, Ticket? So I don't even argue. I get up, I walk off the plane. He following behind me. So you gonna just leave? You gonna just leave like that? I'm in tears, bro. I'm hurt. I walk down the plane, I'm hurt. Get in my car, I leave him on the plane, drive off. So Rondo hit me, Paul hit me, and I was like, man, dog, it just hurt. Because I'm thinking of my big brother, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, an All-Star game, making an All-Star game, something that I probably never thought I could do. Man, I thought he would be behind me. He's like, man, he is behind me. So I remember the next day I showed up to practice early. I'm down there getting my work in just by myself, playing around with the goal, you know, messing around. You know how you do as a hoop.
Yeah, little jump hooks here and there, little jumpers. Yeah.
And, man, he walked down to me, man, and he was like damn near in tears, like, you know how he talk, MF, I ride with you all day. You know that? Through the thick of things. And I was wrong. As a man, as your big brother, I was wrong. And you know what? You should want to make the All-Star game. Because I didn't make it, and I wanted to make it. And that was my bad, young fella. And, dog, that right there, I didn't even respond back. I just was like, big dog. And he dammed me up, gave me a hug. And from there, bro, our relationship went to another level, to the point where we, like, that's my brother. Like, I call him every single day, period, point blank. We talk every single day. That's where it went to, straight up.
Listen, those locker room bonds, man, those are relationships and brotherhoods that you have forever. I had the same type of relationship with guys like Sean Marion, Karam Butler. So those bonds last a long time. But now you've won your championship in Boston. You know, then the trade happens to OKC. When that trade happened with OKC, were you blindsided? Did you know it was coming? Like, what was that? What was that like?
See, it was a lot of – people don't understand. It was a lot that went into that because Danny Ainge had just called me in his office about 2 months ahead of time. I was coming off an ACL injury. My rehab was going great. And he was like, I was on a 4-year, $16 million contract extension off my rookie deal. And he like, Perk, all we can offer you is like $6 a year. Right now, we want to put a 4-year, $24 million deal on the table. I'm like, Danny, right now for a starting center, the market was like 9 to 15. You know what I'm saying? It was 9 to 15 at the time, maybe a little higher. I'm like, he like, man, I know, Perk, but we just don't have it, man. You know, with the big three and you know, with Rondo, we just don't have it. And I'm like, man, Danny, I can't take that, man, you know, but let's just see what happens. So I knew something was in the loop, you know, and one thing I could say about Danny Ainge is that he never lied to me. But it did catch me by surprise, but I wasn't surprised. But I woke up, man, and I remember I was in Denver, and I fall asleep with my TV on ESPN during basketball season. I just I'm all in. I want to know what teams doing. I want to know what's happening. Man, I wake up at like 7. I look on the TV, they're like, blockbuster trade. I'm like, who got traded?
You.
Celtics send Kendrick Perkins to Oklahoma City for Jeff Green, whoop de whoop, right? So I'm like, what? So then my hotel phone ring. It's my agent. He like, yeah, Perk. I'm like, Bob, who was Bob Myers at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Bob, nah, dog, nah. We ain't doing this. Call Danny, tell him that at least let me finish the season out, dog. I'm with my brothers. Like, nah, this can't happen. Like, I'm saying this. He like, Perk, it's done. Next thing you know, I get a call from Danny. I break down. Danny, come on, man, let us finish the season out. He like, Perk, it's done. You know I love you. I'm always here. I miss you. I'm like, Danny, you got to let me finish the season out, dog. Like, come on. Next thing you know, I get a call from Sam Presti. Happy to have you aboard. I'm still not really hearing Sam Presti because I'm like, nah, this ain't happening. Like, nah, I just was in the room playing Blu-ray with my guys. Like, hell nah, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be the first person role player to block a trade. Man.
And listen, if you was in there playing Blu-ray, I hope you paid your debt before you left. Them Blu-ray games get expensive.
Hey, I won. So
okay. Hey, listen. Hey, them guns in the locker room got pulled out over the Blu-ray games in D.C., so I hope you paid your debt.
So check this out. So I go, man, and I go to Paul's room. He like, damn, big fella, they traded you. Man, look, I love you, my brother, whoop-de-whoop. So I like, all right, cool, P. Didn't really shed no tears, you know, whatever. Go to Ray room. He like, Perk, it's a business. You know, you gonna go and do it. You got a long career. Didn't really shed no tears. Go to KG room. He fall to his knees in tears. I break down. Like, dang, man, I gotta go, big fella. He like, what? Like, what the hell these mother doing, B? So I'm like, man, it is what it is. So I go to Rondo room. Like, man, I'm out. Rondo like, what? What you mean? Because, you know, me and Rondo was like, they was the big three before a while. We called ourselves the other two. Wherever you found Rondo, you found me. Like, Rondo, the guard father of my oldest, I'm the godfather of his oldest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for a while, y'all know Rondo went through a slump. Like, he was, like, off that stuff. Like, he didn't want to hoop. And what hurt me the most, I go to Doc room, and Doc like, Hurt, I'm going to miss you. I raised you. We shared a few tears, but he like, Scott Brooks going to be great. You're going to a great situation. So I found out later on down the line that they had a meeting, right? It was Danny, Doc, Paul, Ray, and KG. And they had a meeting like, look, we got an offer on the table for Jeff Green. Now, mind I tell you, I'm coming off an ACL injury. They got Shaq and they got J.O. Celtics still have been playing good, number one in the East or whatever. And they like, who all in favor for making this trade?
Ooh.
So KG and Rondo like, nah. Man, Ray Paul and Doc was all in for it. And it hurted me, but I knew the business. And if you know, Doc goes back into, if you ever notice, he always go back into those articles where he say, I made the biggest mistake in trading Perk. Because he agreed to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he always say that. If you go back and read past articles, he'll say that. And so I'm like, all right, bet. I ain't find this out till later on, which I didn't even care. But, man, when I got to Oklahoma City, and this is why I'm so close with Danny Ainge to this day, first of all, Oklahoma City embraced me with open arms. I went there, and I was like, hold on. I'm with these three young studs, James Harden, Russ, and KD. I'm like, oh, it's on. But I'm hurt because I just strained my other MCL on my MCL on my other leg. They come out, they tell me, they like, before I even play a game, I get a call saying Preston want to sit down with me. Hurt, we got a 4-year, $40 million deal on the table.
Ooh, got to take that.
Come on. Oh, hey.
Bob Myers telling me not to sign because I got a 5-year, $55 million offer with the Golden State after the season. And he like, the Thunder got to match. But I'm like, man, I'm coming off an injury. I'm a hurt on this one. I can't chance that. I got to take this for sure instead of passing up some more. There's nothing that I can't do with 40 that I can't do with 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to take it. So I ended up taking it. And I want to make this real quick. Man, when I got traded from Oklahoma City, I got waived, right, by Utah. I told Utah I wasn't coming. And you remember I had a decision, B. Wood and Ryan. I was either going to Cleveland with Bronny, T. Lou, and you guys, or I was going to Chicago or with Doc. I chose to go to Cleveland. Y'all had just won like 24 out of 25. I'm like, look, they coming out the East for sure. It ain't nowhere around it. That's my best chances on winning the ring. Man, you know Doc got mad at me about that and got in his feelings. Me and Doc didn't talk for like 3 years after that, bro.
Wow.
And that was my mentor. And we finally broke the ice, and I reached out to him, and we had an hour-and-a-half phone conversation. And I said, Doc, how can you be mad at me for going with T. Lou now? I never got mad at you when you was in there and traded me. Like, I didn't get mad at you. I still loved you the same. He was like, you know what, Perk, you're right. So, I mean, that's how it all went down.
A lot of feelings and emotions get involved in the business.
Yeah.
Perk, well, shoot, man. Take me through that OKC ride, man. And more so, I always believe that player to player, we can credit ourselves differently because I see something. I know what makes a guy special. Let me talk about Russell Westbrook first because you played. Those are 3 MVPs. You said you knew them boys were special. Them are 3 MVPs. Let me know one play, dog, when you were with Russ in practice or in the game or what the call was, where he made a play on film, you look back or you just knew and it was like, yo, this young boy different. Like, I knew what he was, but I didn't really know what he was. Walk me through that exact moment. What play, what team, what moment?
Listen, I can't even walk you through a play. A play didn't change my mind. A play didn't wake me up about Russell Westbrook. You know what woke me up about Russell Westbrook? We in the semifinals against the Memphis Grizzlies, the time they had Rudy Gay, and they pushed us to a game 7. And when he came out, the way he came out and set the tone, I was like, nah, this dude is on another level. He had a 35-point triple-double. I think he shot like 60 from the field. He came out and I think he had like 18 in the first quarter. He couldn't miss, pull up mid-range. Like was in the zone. I was like, nah, this dude is like this. We already knew who KD was, but man, that moment right there, I was like, nah, this dude Russ really about that action. It wasn't no, because in practice, I seen all the athleticism, and then throughout the season, I seen plays that he made. But when he stepped his game up in a crucial game 7 and had a 35-point triple-double, meaning addition, time on target, and I think he only had like 2 turnovers. I was like, hold on, nah, this dude is special. He's special. Straight up.
He definitely is. Y'all had a real special unit. Not many guys can say they were on a team where all three guys went on to become MVP. And I had the privilege of playing against you guys, and the talent level was insane. When you look at where your talent was, and you guys did win a title, is that disappointing? Was it because of being young? Was it because of guys not knowing their role? Because that team, if you look at it, probably should have won a title.
It should have. Well, especially, but you got to remember, right? So the year that we did go to the finals, man, so I had already been to the finals twice. I never take the finals for granted. Making it to the finals is a special moment.
Oh, yes.
Right? Going to the promised land. But what I did realize is that I watched the celebration when we won the Western Conference Championship against the Spurs. And that was alarming to me because I was like, oh, see, that's a problem. Knowing that we're going against a Heat team that had just underachieved the year before with veterans that had it on their mind, I'm like, man.
Hey, man, who beat that Heat team?
Hey,
I don't know who beat that Heat team. Hey, Perk, I don't know who beat them. Who beat them? Who beat them?
One of the most underrated championships in NBA history. B. Wood.
Don't get him started, Perk.
No, it's the truth. They have one of the most underrated championships in NBA history. It don't get talked about enough. But anyway, so I'm like, man, I'm kind of in between, but I'm like, let me pull these guys together. So we get in the locker room. I'm like, look, enjoy this night, but we got work to do. You know what I'm saying? We ain't finished yet. So we come out game one, we win that one. What changed the game, and we never bounced back from it, was that drive baseline by KD.
That was a foul.
That was a foul.
Bron fouled. That was a foul. I watched it yesterday, Perk. That was a foul.
That was a foul, and to be honest, once we got to Miami, bro, we never regrouped. We never bounced back from that mentally. And I think guys were okay with that. Like, because even after the game, it wasn't like guys were breaking down in tears or nothing to that nature. It was like we landed in OKC and we still had a parade. Like people just so that it was more so young. Like, do I think we could have won more if the team would have stuck together? Yeah, hell yeah. But the team wasn't going to stick together. And people don't understand that. Like, it's no way possible. They try to blame Sam Presti. You can't, man. James Harden needed his own team. James Harden wanted to be the franchise. James Harden couldn't have been James Harden, who we know today, if he still would have been on the team with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. And then I'm going to give y'all the floor. But this is what people fail to realize, man. Yes, the NBA, you want to win championships and make all-star games, but it's entertainment to the fans. But what is it to us?
Business.
It's a job, right?
It's a business.
It's how we secure our future, how we support our family, put food on the table. James Harden, since leaving OKC, he has made over $400 million on and off the court. He's become a MVP, 8-time All-Star. He wouldn't have got all that, man, in Oklahoma City. True. So, you know, at the end of the day, and I'm going to tell y'all something, I sent James a text when he first left. Because when he first left, Oklahoma City offered him like 68. He only got 80 from the Rockets. And I sent him a text like, man, you were selfish for that and all that. And then, you know what, I slept on it for about a week. And, man, I had to call my brother and told him, I apologize, dog. Because how can I be mad at you for going and get something that's going to better you for my own selfish ways of wanting to win the title? Period, point blank.
Oh, no
Perk, Perk, man, I gotta dive into this because you talked a little bit about your Celtics mentality, what KG brought to the table. For myself also, he changed my career. I would have been out the league if it wasn't for KG teaching me how to prepare for shoot-around, how to work in the games. The game became personal rather than a game and a business. Like, we played for pride. So I love him and I thank him for that. You took that same mentality to OKC. And I want you to direct this personally towards, and this is still your brother no matter what, Perkins. You know, we talked about that this week, towards go back to me with KD. We know how talented he was. He could score from anywhere on the floor. He's 7 feet tall, no matter what anybody say. He look all of us in the eyes. He ain't never been no 6'8", 6'9".
Might be
Talk to me. Yeah, bro. Talk to me about what you taught that Oklahoma City team, and particularly even that relationship with you and KD, because it's so funny on the other side, Perk. We would laugh, we would watch y'all on film, and we were like, in the middle of the game, they're gonna cuss each other out. But that's just their language. And somehow y'all, it was organized chaos, the best way I could describe it, but it worked. Y'all had a language nobody else had, and there was a lot of success there. No championship, but a lot of success. Talk to me about your relationship with KD and how that grew. And did you have a moment where y'all like, hey, man, we trust each other? You know what I'm saying?
Man, let me tell you. So first of all, Doc Rivers taught me how to be a professional. Doc Rivers saved my career. Doc Rivers turned me into a winner, right? And told me if I follow these steps that I could have a 10-plus career. That's first thing. KG, Walter McCarty, they taught me how to be leaders, a leader. Now here it is, I'm a guy that was 26 years old on the Boston Celtics team. I'm a young guy. Under James Posey, P.J. Brown, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on. And I get traded, all of a sudden I become the big brother of a talented team that almost just beat the Lakers the year before. Mm-hmm. So I bought that same sacrificing. That's why it kills me today when KD lashed out and said, oh, you averaged a whopping 2 and 3. Yeah, but talk about how many screens I set for you and got you open. Talk about how I sacrificed my shot attempts because it wasn't enough to go around because you, James, and Russ needed to get y'all's off. So I figured out I could affect the game in another area. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. And I didn't just preach losing yourself into the team. I actually done that with them. And Scott Brooks did a great job of pointing it out. He used to point out, look at Perk rotation on here. Look at Perk when he did this screen, got KD. You look, a guy's not, he can't even get to you. You're wide open. That's why when you go look at all the KD game winners, even the one against Dallas, B, you remember in front of y'all bench in Oklahoma City?
No, I don't remember.
Who said that? I did. But even past that, bro, like KD, man, he know, man, me and this man has shared conversations 2, 3 o'clock in the morning talking about hooping. I'm telling him how great he is. I'm telling him, like, I'm not even gassing him like, bro, you that dude. Like, he knowing that he walking in the gym, he got Big Perk with him, like, he ready to ride. I gave him a different type of energy. I brought a different type of swagger to him. Like, KD, man, KD was my little brother. Still is. Even though he don't want to accept it and he in his stubborn ways, I still love him. But at the end of the day, I embraced him, man. I actually taught this man how to be a man on some real stuff. I embraced him and took him under my arms, under my wing, and was like, nah, bro, like, you Kevin Durant, dog. You call the shots. Nah, dog, you need to go in that office and holler at Sam Preston and Troy Weaver. Nah, dog, you the MVP. That's why, man, when that man, he gave his MVP speech, did you hear his shout out to me?
Yeah.
He was crying doing that. That was real. Like, that was real. Everything that KG did for me, I brought that same leadership and did for KD. Now, I tell you, I ain't had a skill set, but I let him know that he couldn't be messed with, period, point blank. Man, look, dog, you like that. He already knew he was good, but I installed in him that, nah, dog, you like that. Like, he would hit me on phone conversations like, man, I'm on one tomorrow. I'm like, I'm right there with you. Man, ain't nobody messing with you. You know what I'm saying? I used to put that key in his back, charge that, turn that battery on. So, you know, man, at the end of the day, man, KD, who he is, one of, you know, if not arguably the greatest scorer in NBA history. You know, when you look at him, shit, what flaws do he have? None. We haven't seen nothing like him ever in life.
Yeah.
So, that's how that went.
And so when I've seen some of you guys, since you jumped into it, I saw some of you guys beefing on Twitter a little bit, going back and forth. And then there was the comment that came out recently, and you guys were going back and forth, the sellout comment. We talked about that off air. No need to jump into that. And I know it has to hurt. Do you think the relationship can be salvaged? Can you guys sit down and talk about this? I'll tell you one quick story. Me and Deshaun Stevenson, this is back when OKC, when the Thunder were in Seattle. This is when it was in there. I'm old, Perk. I'm old. So I did play in Seattle. And so we got into it on the court. And we were it was intense. Afterwards, we didn't speak. And the next thing you know, in the middle of the night, knock at my door. I see D. Steve, and D. Steve normally, D. Steve with them things. So I'm thinking like, yo, we about to fight. And he walked in there. He was like, can I just talk to you for real? And we sat down. We had a real conversation. And man, we had, because the things we said to each other, it was hurtful. But we had a real conversation. And he's my brother to this day. Like, I still check on him like, yo, dog, how you doing? How's your barbershop doing in Orlando? He'll do the same thing with me. Man, I see him at the Big Three. It's all love. But it's because we sat down and talked and we got past, as men, the ego. Because when somebody say something you don't like, your ego kick in. Do you think you guys will be able to get past the ego and don't do it for Twitter, don't do it for the gram? Y'all just sit down. Maybe y'all talk on the phone. Maybe y'all go out to eat and y'all just be like, yo, we going to get back to being brothers, because that's what I want to see.
But, man, that's crazy that you asked, because I haven't changed my number in 15 years, right? So, when I look at the situation, when we first got into it on Twitter during that time, about, when I was giving Russell Westbrook praises, I was the bigger person after that and reached out and apologized to him after Kobe death, right?
Mm-hmm.
I took a stand. Here it is. I addressed the situation about Kyrie, and he jumped in and called me probably the worst thing that you could call an African American is a sellout, right?
Especially in these times.
In these times. I went on First Take, and I was the bigger person. Again, right? Said, hey, man, I still love you, my brother. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, I think I did all that I possibly could do. I did my part. I've apologized to him on national TV. I have told him I loved him on national TV, that my wife and family love him. All I could control what Perk could control, right? And I did that, B, straight up. So, like, at the end of the day, my door not closed to KD. But now it's time for him to do his part. If he do his part, then, man, I'm all open, dog. I'm all in. Listen, I don't want no beef with none of my brothers that I hoop with in the NBA at all. Like, but see, the difference is that this is the difference between KD and I. I'm married with 4 kids, so I look at life a little differently than him.
Yes.
KD is still single, still have that life where his boys are with him. They still playing video games. They chilling. They kicking it. So he look at life totally different. I think I value life and I value loved ones a lot more than what he do right now, because I have a family and I know how it feel to be put last, and that, like, I put myself last in my household, which it should be. It's my family come first. And I think I love different than what he do. And that's no knock on him, but the ball is in his court. It ain't in mine, bro. I done did everything I should and possibly done. Just think about it. If someone was to call you or Ryan a sellout, man, how would y'all really feel? Like a sellout?
Wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like you call me pretty much anything but that.
That's I don't even like when the fan does it.
Yeah, man, like a sellout is like, man, the definition of it is like, for African Americans, like, you turning your back on your culture, on your black people. Nah, bro, like, you know, that's the lowest of the lowest. And I still went on TV and embraced him and haven't said anything negative about him. You know what I'm saying? And still haven't to this day, and I never will. So the ball is in his court, man. So I've done all I could, and it's just on him.
Hey, Katie, if you hear that, reach out to my guy, Big Perk. I want to see y'all come back together, man.
Absolutely.
Listen, man, I'm all about black people uniting, man, especially where we at. as a people in this country, man, listen, I don't want to see nobody beefing. And hey, Perk, I know you country, just like my mom grew up in the country too. We always had a saying, we don't argue in front of company. And when
straight up.
Hey, we don't argue in front of company. I don't want to see y'all on TV arguing in front of company, man. Don't want to see it no more.
Yes, sir. Hey, Perk, well, man, the one thing I would say, all three of us, we've been blessed with, you know, we done set some screens for some pretty good guys. If you're going to set a screen, whether it was Gilbert Arenas, Paul Pierce, KG, LeBron, any of us, Perk, we already know that twist 45 where you set the little down screen, KG pop back with a jumper. Big dog, you remember the play. But you played with LeBron James. And both of you guys were on that squad. I want to say we saw some of LeBron's best moments ever. Unfortunately, it didn't result in the championship. Perk, you were there. Brendan, you were there. Maybe Brendan, obviously, you can hop in on this. Perk, Brendan, take me through a time where we saw how great LeBron was. We saw the runs. We remember the highlights. But a tough time in that Cleveland run where you guys made it all the way to the finals. And how did LeBron act? Was there something in the huddle, something in the locker room, a pregame speech that nobody saw? It wasn't for nobody else, but a moment where it was like, nah, this dude, he different. Because, Perk, you watched him grow up from Oakland Soldiers LeBron to Miami Heat LeBron to came back to Cleveland.
Well, to me, man, and Bron is a guy, and be willing to tell you, in the locker room, people don't know. In the locker room, Bron don't speak often. He's a solid guy. Like, he's not a vocal leader. On the court he is, but in the locker room he's not. He leads by example. Even at shoot-around. Now, at shoot-around, he'll test the coaching staff why we not doing this or why we not doing that. But he leads by example. Just think about it. How many times we was getting there, man, thinking we was the first ones there, and we hear the music banging loud, and he already in the weight room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, Perk, in there lifting hard as hell, butt naked, nothing but his spandex on.
Man.
Hey, Perk, how you always in the gym with nothing but your spandex on and a do-rag on? That's how you get Mercer, man. I come in there, I'm like, man, I'm going to come back and lift when Bron gone, man. He going to have to put some pants on or something, man.
Always beat us there, man, and we'll leave a commercial, go home, get treatment, and still, we was on the road. This is the things people don't understand about him, man. Like, we're in 5-star restaurants at steak dinners. What he doing? He getting treatment. Like, he got the athletic trainer right here giving them treatment, STEM unit. And it was just like,
Hold on. At the restaurant.
Yeah, there's no lie. Like,
yeah. At the restaurant, on the team plane, playing cards, he would have he'd have the people there working on him. Yeah.
Shut up, bro. Hold on. Y'all over at what's the steakhouse? Roof Chris.
Roof Chris.
Yeah, Roof Chris or whatever.
And Bron got the trainer just getting his calves ready or whatever.
Yep. And when I knew, I don't know about beef, but when I used to know that Bron was all the way locked in, first of all, he would be in there getting his massage, and I would walk in the training room, and I would look, and if he didn't have his phone in his hand, like looking at something or whatever, I knew he was kind of like in the easygoing mood. But if he had his headphones on, his phone was down, and he had his face, I wouldn't even talk to him because I knew he had it on his mind. It was times during games where you would catch yourself cheering for him, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the game, you go and look at the stat sheet, and you're like, hold on, he just did what? Because you're so caught up in the moment. Like, you're so caught up in the moment. That last stint I had with Cleveland, with Bron, and that run he went on where it was that Game 7 against the Pacers, and he stepped up. A tough Game 7 in Boston, and he stepped up. And then what he did to Toronto, oh, my God, I was like, hold on, man. Like, nah. This is real. This is real right here.
No, Bron definitely was something different. I think for me, what I knew was something different for him was that Chicago game. When Coach Black drew the play up and Bron was like, nah, I took the clipboard, like, nah, we're not running that. He ran his – hey, Ryan, He drew up his own game winner. Like, nah, we're going to do this. And that's how he got the shot in the corner. He drew up his own play.
Hold on. What was the play, yo? What did he draw up?
Hold on, real quick. I'm glad you brought that up. You remember David Black? He had Bron taking the ball out.
Bron was supposed to take the ball out, and the play was supposed to be for J.R. Smith. Bron was like, wiped off the board. We running this, and then he ran the play to get himself the shot in the corner. He called his own play.
Perk, walk me through this. What did he draw up for himself?
He draw. I don't know what he did. All I know is I was getting tissue and paper towels because every time it was a crucial moment and David Black got nervous, his nose started bleeding. So I'm getting the paper towel. I'm getting the paper towels because his hand's shaking, nose bleeding, and he draws up this play for JR, and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, the whole team was looking at each other crazy, like, yo, y'all, you do know we got this guy LeBron over here, right? like, but the play was supposed to be for JR. Bron drew up a play where it basically looked like he was going to go like set a screen, and he pops out to the corner real quick. And he drew it up, and it worked. And that's it. So that's when I knew that he was moving different. Because not only did he want the ball, because the misconception about LeBron is he don't hit game winners. I'm going to say this, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Bron probably has more memorable game winners in the playoffs than Kobe. When you start thinking about the game winner against the Pacers, the game winner against Toronto, the game winner against Paul George's Pacers, the game winner against the Bulls. You know, like he has so many different – the game winner against Orlando back in the day in the playoffs. Like he has so many game winners, but they get hung up on that. So the fact that I heard all the noise and to see Bron in that moment, not only did he want the ball, he knew where he wanted it and the play that he was going to draw up. Most players can't do that.
Man, he's not lying, dog. B. Wood is telling no lies right now. Like, that happened just like that.
Let me throw something to you, Perk. And I know, listen, I'm not trying to touch no subject, so I want to keep everything positive here. No, Perk. I'm always keeping 100. You know, if I'm asking for it, we not on. But like, listen, I want to talk about Kyrie. Kyrie was a young boy. He was a rookie when he came in with us. And when I watched Kyrie, he's the most talented player I've ever seen at that time. I played with Jason Kidd. I played with Dirk, KG, all these guys. He was the most talented player I've ever seen. He could shoot like Ray Allen. He could dribble like Jamal Crawford. I mean, he could do it all. But he wasn't motivated. He wasn't consistent every night. There's a lot of questions that we had there. When he got with Bron that next year and they win the championship, I watched LeBron. Kyrie was guilty by association because Kyrie had to become consistent. He had to make shots every night, and he turned into something completely different. Completely different. Talk me through behind the scenes what you saw with Kyrie's growth of even just being in the locker room, being in the circumstances, growing and learning from LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie, listen, I don't want to talk the negative stuff. I know Kyrie's he's a good dude. I'm not sure what is, what isn't, okay? You know what I'm saying? We're not on that. But I want to know, like how did Bron rub off on him? Because I know him and Bron done went about their ways or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he called him to apologize. Life happens. But talk me through that relationship and what you saw from the young star, the young talented star, and Bron, who had already kind of learned to come into his own.
Man, listen, one thing about it is that, like I said before, Bron sets the tone. We would know that he sets the tone, man. He sets the tone with what he does with his action. Burst climber, getting up extra shots, that winning basketball mentality, the way he approach it. And think about this, right? Not just Kyrie, but Kevin Love. Before they got with LeBron James, both of those guys were franchise players for their respective teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Neither one of those guys had even tasted the playoffs. They were damn near in the lottery.
True. No, not damn near. They was in the lottery.
I was a part of one of those years.
That's what I'm saying. And so just think, all of a sudden they get with Bron, and all of a sudden they have to learn this winning, this how to play winning basketball and mentality all of a sudden, it's contagious. That's all I can say. It's contagious. It wasn't no special moment. It was just like, and see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's why I give a lot of credit to Kevin Love. I give a lot of credit to Kyrie Irving. I give a lot to J.R. Smith, Richard Jefferson. Because let me tell you, when you're playing with the face of the NBA and arguably the greatest player of all time, and he's on your team, and you know it's all about championships. First of all, it's so much pressure on LeBron James that it's ridiculous, right? Since high school,
Facts.
The chosen one and all this, we never seen nobody have this much pressure on them coming out of school and handle it the way he did, right? But it's pressure playing with LeBron James.
Yes,
And it's not no knock. That's why we're able to see a different George Hill, right? With a Milwaukee Bucks. Because the George Hill, it was a different pressure playing on the side of Braun. And it was like George Hill, he seemed like with Milwaukee, it's like, whoo, man, relief. Not because it was Braun putting the pressure on him, but it's just that it's like that level of competition. And it's the same, it's crazy that y'all brought it up because it was a sit down that I had to have with my little brother, Russell Westbrook, when I first got to OKC, because he used to get mad at certain guys. And I said, I had to sit down and say, hey, listen, everybody ain't you, dog. You can't expect everybody to be good or great like you are. We all have flaws, and yes, we're not Russell Westbrook, but you can't expect everyone to be you. And I had to make him realize that and make him understand that. But man, just them having to be around Braun, they had to elevate their game.
Hey, Perk, man, we ain't going to keep you too much longer. We got about 2 more questions for you. I got to ask you about what you're doing currently, man, because you're doing a great job. You're coming out there killing it. You're on ESPN every day. Listen, man, hey, they working you at ESPN. I catch you. You be on at 8 o'clock. You be on Get Up. Then you be on First Take. You'll be on the NBA show at nighttime. But talk to me about where you at with your career right now, how you feel it's going, and more importantly, this was kind of hard for me. Tell me if you felt the same way, or if maybe it was easier. It was hard for me to critique guys that I knew at first. Did you feel, was that hard for you? Like I had it, like my first year out, the next year I got to talk about mistakes made by Tristan Thompson, but I was just in the locker room with him. Or I'm in the draft last year, I got to talk about a pick that James Jones made. You know, I played with James Jones. I love him, but I didn't think that pick was good for their team. Like, did you feel a little bit weird criticizing guys that you went to war with and that you knew and loved?
Yeah, man, and it's crazy, man. And, you know, I never thought that I would actually be working for ESPN and being on this platform, because my goal, to be honest with y'all, was I just wanted to get on TV and speak knowledge about basketball, because I wanted to be the next head coach that was a big man that played in the league, because I feel like us big men get overlooked, like we got dinosaur brains. Like,
hey man, Patrick Ewing had to go to college to get a job, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, guards and point guards ain't the only people that could coach a team or have that basketball knowledge. So I really, and then it kind of transitioned. Last year, man, I worked anything I did for ESPN and Fox, I did it for free. I never turned down anything, and it's turning out good. But to answer your question, B, man, so when I first got in the media, and this is why I'm kind of disappointed in KD, was that I reached out to all my NBA brothers that I had a phone number in my phone and I text with, talk with, or whatever. And I said, man, listen, I'm joining the media. It's going to be certain situations that I'm going to have to talk about you. I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to have to talk about you. If you have a bad game, I got to talk about you. But, you know, I'm going to be the first person to give you your flowers when you shine, right? And I also told them, I said, listen, I'm going to go about this a whole different way. You know how it is in production meetings when topics come up, right? And I said, listen, what I'm going to do, is if a topic come up about one of you guys, I'm going to call y'all and be like, hey, I got to go on First Take today and talk about you in this situation. What are your thoughts on it, right? And tell me if I'm wrong, if I feel this way. And we'll have a conversation, and I'll be like, well, I got to go on here, and I got to say it because I can't be biased. And guess what? It's worked out just fine except for one person, KD. But every other person, all my NBA brothers, whether it's Bron, AD, James Harden, coaching staff from Doc Rivers, T. Lue, GMs from Troy Weaver to Danny Ainge, I can still pick up the phone today and we have full-out conversations because they know how I went about things and they know I don't mean no harm, but I can't be biased. I got to call it like I see it. And they know I give them the platform to speak through me also.
That's good.
Perk, we always like to close out with a bit of a fun segment, man. This was an amazing interview, big dog. You yes, came home with it. You represented for the big fellas.
Man, I've been waiting on this, man. I told you, every time I get a chance, I'm watching y'all on IG Live. I'm like, man, they going in. I look.
So that means you watch me on IG Live schooling Ryan every day?
And you see my comments, I'm like,
I'll be having to school him, man. I'll be having to school him.
Hey, y'all can tag team this big fella. I'm ready for it, man. I box both of y'all out at the same time. Hey, but now, Perk, we always have a fun segment to end the show, and I want to hear about your best celebrity moment, whether it was in the club, a lounge, elsewhere, anywhere where you just met a celebrity that kind of blew you away. Like, man, this is different. For me, Prince walked through one of the clubs in Minnesota, man, out of all places, and it was like I seen a ghost. I swear he slid across the floor, dog. The man had leggings and eyeliner and all that deal. Yeah. And no, Brendan, I didn't look at him in the eyes. So stop telling. Okay. Don't tell nobody I looked him in the eyes, dog.
I didn't say nothing about that. Like I said, I have a couple of them myself. Like I tell the Mike Tyson story for me. There's another time, man, back before Kevin Hart became really, really big. Like we were in the club just sitting beside each other. And you know how he talks. He's talking to me about my dunk rating. He's like, hey, big fella, your dunk rating, got to get it up. That's just his thing. And so, like, we talking for 30 minutes about my dunk rating, and that's just a cool moment. So you got any moments like that?
Man, so it was two moments, right? And to be honest, I'm a guy that, I don't know why, but I never got starstruck, right? But it was two times, man. One, I was at the ESPYs after we just won the championship, and we won the ESPY award, the Celtics team did. And I'm walking on the carpet, and I'm like, I'm walking past everybody was there, right? One person sticks out in particular, Samuel Jackson. I go crazy. Man, hold on, what? I got to get a picture. My wife tripping out because she never seen me act like this.
You turn into the fan.
Yeah, she get me with a shot, so I just go crazy. And then he said Perk, like he called me Perk. I'm like, you know my name. Like I'm tripping out, dog. Like no BS, dog. It's no cap. I'm really tripping out. But I'm going to tell y'all this. My rookie season with the Celtics, right? I'm coming out of the Beverly Wilshire. I don't have no sense of direction. This is my first road trip to LA. Vets ain't really hanging with me. I'm walking down the stairs. I'm just about to go walk down Wilshire Boulevard. I don't know. I'm just chilling, right? Getting out my room. We got 3 days there. So, it's two sides of it.
Yeah.
And then it's, the driveway.
Driveway in the middle with all the fly cars.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm coming out. It's about noontime. I'm walking out. I'm about to go, find something to do. I look across. I see first two bodyguards coming out. So I'm like, oh, there's got to be somebody's famous. Man, it's Jay-Z.
Hove.
Oh, it's Hove. I wasn't starstruck by Hove.
Beyoncé.
You goddamn right. I seen Beyoncé live for the first time. You want to know what's crazy? I picked up the phone and I was like, I called my wife. I said, man, guess what? Who I just see right now, right here, about 20 feet away from me. And she like, who? I'm like, Beyoncé. And she like, boy, don't be calling me talking about no other woman. I'm like, look, this beat right here, homegirl. This is beat. And she feel the same way. She said, you know what? That's one lady I got to give you a pass on. But that was my only 2 experiences, though.
And y'all from that because Beaumont's real close to Houston, right?
Yeah.
So y'all from Houston, Beyonce from Houston. So I know y'all rock with Beyonce down there heavy.
I'm gonna give you a crazy story. So my wife, the whole time, she keep telling me, she was like, yeah, I'm Beyonce cousin. I'm like, girl, stop telling me this. You've been telling me this for days. So I'm like, man, I'm not trying to hear it. So one day for a holiday, we goes to her grandmother's house, and her grandmother is pulling up pictures of her grandmother with Beyonce, like taking pictures like when Beyonce was a little girl, like showing me they whole family portfolio and album, and I'm like, so you wasn't lying. So I still got doubts in my mind, right? We get to Oklahoma City, Beyonce and Jay come to the game. So Beyonce in the family room, and my wife walked up to her and was like, yeah, I ain't that type, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm Kendrick Perkins' wife, and me and you are related, and I'm your cousin. And Beyonce, they start running down names, and she just instantly was like, no, you're right. Yeah, we're cousins. Yeah, such and such. Auntie this, auntie that. And I'm like, she started getting in the car. She was like, boy, you better not. I don't never lie. She like, whatever, man. But it was crazy, though, because I honestly thought she was lying.
And listen, man.
Always
got to believe your wife, brother. Always got to wife.
Hey, well, Perk, brother, normally we like to shoot out and say, man, where can we find you? Well, Perk, we know where you can find you. You're killing it on ESPN, but talk to me about any of the charities or ventures or podcasts, other stuff. I know you and Rashad got some dope stuff going on right now. So just talk to me what else you got going on, brother, that we don't know on ESPN.
Man, I mean, right now, the only thing, man, is that, I'm doing the ESPN thing, and, me and Rashad do the No Agendas, man, which, I like Yoda a lot, man. I think he got a great mind, a great scout for talent. But what I want y'all to do is he got a dope interview, man, that's coming out in about a week. He just ended up with Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah Thomas, to him, man, like, that's his hero, because he's from Detroit.
Yep.
And man, when y'all see that and it comes out, man, if y'all could like just give that some buzz, man, because that means the world to him. And
Nice.
Interview, I haven't heard it. I just heard little clips of it. Man, he dropped some stuff in there that he never told anybody. So it's gonna be gold, man. So that's about it, man. You know me, man. I'm at the house. I'm with the family. Amina hit me up and say, hey, Perk, you got first take, get up on the jump, and it's all good.
All right.
Man, I'm on IG Live. I'm watching y'all every day. Hey, but look, B. Wood.
Yo.
Ryan been fighting back a little bit, though.
He been trying, man, but, hey, listen, man.
Hey, Ryan, but listen, I done came on there a few times, man, and B. Wood was up there speaking that good gospel from Genesis 7, chapter 8.
Hey, listen, man. Perk, you already know, man. I know way too much basketball facts, man. I just box him in with the facts, man. I know random facts for no reason.
Hey, listen, don't let that bald head fool you. Brendan a lot older than he leads on. He got some of that generational bias, dog. Talking about you ain't seen Kevin McHale back in the day. He the best power forward of all time. And
I didn't say he was the best power forward. I said Tim Duncan's the best power forward of all time. Stop it, man.
You got some of that generational bias, dog. Talking about y'all never seen Jerry West in his prime.
Hey, man, I ain't messing with you, man. Hey, Perk, we appreciate you coming on. It's been a great interview, man. We look forward to seeing more of your stuff, man. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. Y'all keep up the good work, man. I was telling Ryan, man, somebody go pick this up. Y'all keep doing y'all. Somebody got to pick it up and empty out that bag. Too much knowledge, too much personality. Shit, if I had it, I'd do it.
My dog.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Perk.
No problem.